The snow outside the glass tower fell silently, blanketing the city below in white. Inside, the office of Alexander Reed, once filled with life and energy, now sat in heavy stillness. The 42-year-old CEO, once a name that commanded respect in every boardroom, now sat hunched in his chair, pale and trembling. Only a month ago, Alexander had been diagnosed with a rare neurological disease. There was no cure. The prognosis, 2 years if he was lucky. He didn't fear death. He feared being forgotten. And as it turned out, that fear came true faster than expected. When the diagnosis leaked, investors pulled out. Board members whispered behind closed doors. Even his fiancée, his anchor through years of ambition, left him a short note. "I can't watch you fade." By the end of the week, he was alone. Every night, long after the last employee left, one person stayed behind, the janitor, Maria Lopez. She was in her late 50s, with silver strands escaping from her bun and kind eyes that had seen too much hardship to ever judge another soul. She noticed the light in Alexander's office burning past midnight every night. The first time she peeked in, she found him staring blankly at his reflection in the dark window. "Sir," she said softly, clutching her mop, "you should go home, it's late." He didn't look at her. "Home's just a word, Maria." From that night, she started leaving a cup of tea outside his door. He never drank it, but he noticed. On the 7th night, he finally spoke as she entered to empty his trash. "Why do you bother?" he asked bitterly. "You all know I'm dying." Maria smiled faintly. "We're all dying, sir. Some of us just have the blessing of knowing how much time we have." Her words hit him like a quiet thunderclap. For the first time in weeks, he looked at someone and didn't feel like a patient. Days turned into weeks. Alexander's condition worsened, but Maria's presence became a strange kind of medicine. She'd tell him stories about her husband who'd passed away young, about her children who barely called, and how she still found reasons to smile. "You can't control how long you have," she'd say while wiping his desk, "but you can control what you do with it." One evening he found her sitting quietly in the lobby, her eyes red. Her son, she told him, had lost his job. Rent was due. She might have to pick up extra shifts. The next morning, Maria arrived to find an envelope taped to her mop. It contained a check for $25,000 and a note that read, "You taught me how to live again. Let me return the favor. A.R." Months passed. Alexander stopped attending meetings and instead started something new, a foundation to help employees, families in need. Maria was the first person he hired as its director. When she protested, saying she had no qualifications, he smiled. "You have exactly what this world needs more of, heart." Together they built something beautiful. The Reed Hope Foundation grew quickly, funding medical treatments, scholarships, and housing for struggling families. But as the disease progressed, Alexander's strength faded. One night when the pain grew unbearable, Maria sat by his bedside in the hospice room, holding his hand. "I'm not afraid anymore," he whispered. "You showed me what it means to live with grace." Maria wiped her tears and whispered back, "You showed me that kindness can rebuild a soul." 6 months later, at the grand opening of the Alexander Reed Memorial Children's Hospital, Maria stood before a crowd of hundreds. The banner behind her bore his favorite quote, "The worth of a life isn't measured by what we achieve, but by how much love we leave behind." Her voice trembled as she spoke. He may have lost his company, his wealth, even his health, but he found something greater, humanity, and that's what he gave to us all. As she stepped down from the podium, a little boy handed her a drawing of Alexander, standing with a golden heart. Maria smiled through her tears. Because sometimes the person everyone overlooks, the janitor, the quiet soul in the corner, is the one who ends up changing everything. Moral: no act of kindness is ever too small. Even in the darkest moments, a single compassionate heart can reignite the will to live, and remind us all that love, not success, is the true measure of a life.